So many things to do this summer. We have some great suggestions to keep you busy all month. Welcome to Talk of the Town, everyone.
How about a good do-it-yourself project? We have 3 easy ideas perfect for a summer day.
Time to harvest the garlic in the Poconos and get ready for the annual festival. We head into the kitchen with the head chef for a unique dessert recipe you will want to taste.
If you enjoy the great outdoors, you know the concerns involving ticks. Blah.
Yuck.
Now a local wildlife lab tests tick DNA for Lyme. We grab some lab coats and help out.
Then we hop aboard a train for a ride through the picturesque Lehigh Gorge.
We visit the longest running hostel for thru hikers on the Appalachian Trail. It attracts thousands and it's in our backyard. But first we head outside to try a new sport.
It's not only new to us, it's new to East Stroudsburg's Terra Greens Golf Club.
They've just built a new course that should attract a whole new type of golfer.
Terra Greens was built by my father, my 2 uncles. They opened it 51 years ago. In 2006, the borough, local municipality of East Stroudsburg, purchased it. And it's a regulation 9-hole course, open to the general public. We have memberships, we have golf cart rentals, we have a small pro shop. We decided it was time to add something new, so we decided to go with foot golf.
And what exactly is foot golf?
Foot golf is a sport similar to golf that you play with a soccer ball. And instead of hitting a golf ball into a small little hole, you hit a soccer ball into a bigger hole, which is about 21 inches in diameter.
What advice do you have for us, since we've never done this before? What advice do you have so that we do well?
Kick the ball straight.
Let's play some foot golf.
All right, we're here with Ashley and Zoe from the Keystone Athletic Soccer Club, and we're gonna get some tips. So Zoe, why don't you tell us first what we should do?
Okay, so on the long drives, you're gonna take about 3 big steps, and then you're gonna plant your left foot as you kick. You're gonna go and kick with the top of your foot, like this part here.
Okay,
And you want to make sure that with your left foot you point straight or at the angle that you're kicking at, and then use this part of your foot, the inside of your toe.
And how hard do you have to kick the ball?
Pretty hard. It depends upon how far you want to kick the ball.
But for the drive, you just kind of think as hard as you
Yeah,
can,
you just
right?
want to aim it and kick as hard as you can and follow through. And follow through.
All right, these are all good tips.
Exactly.
Maybe not quite that high.
We'll see. Should we take a practice kick?
Sure. I have no idea if this will be good, bad, or indifferent. We'll see. Don't take so many steps.
Yeah, you're gonna slide with those feet.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, right in the bad part.
Did you follow through?
That was terrible.
Did she follow through? That's going to be a whole struggle in and of itself, figuring out how to get close enough to the ball.
Yeah, that was my struggle.
Good, you got it in the air.
I got it in the air, but it's
Yeah.
Right in the hole too.
Good.
Well, we've had our practice shots.
And we were really bad. It's a good thing that we have a team.
Yes, and I think what we need to do is play 3-on-3 scramble.
That's right. So this is my team. I've got Ashley and Eric, and you guys are good soccer players, right?
We'll see.
I'm counting on you.
And my team is Zoe and Lou. Thank you guys for playing with me today. Are you guys good soccer players?
On good days, yeah.
On good days? All right, we're gonna do it. Okay. All right, let's get started.
Should we go first and then they have to clean up our mess?
Sure. This makes me so nervous.
Just
You got it.
There it is.
Oh,
Woo.
all
That's
right.
good, that's good.
right into the trees.
Good.
No, it's way down there in the grass.
All right, good.
But it's not, it didn't go over the gully.
Yeah. I'm really bad at this.
Ooh, nice shot. Ooh, it does go, wow, look at how that goes down there though. Oh, God. Down
That's
with me.
all right.
Your turn, Lou. You had the right. I know what you were doing. I
actually was
I
afraid
know
that
what
I
you were
would do
going
that.
for. I know what you were going for. All right. I think he wins the. I think that was the best shot off the first tee.
Show off.
Show off. That's right. It's our team. We're digging it.
There's really not much that you need to know. I mean, if you can kick a soccer ball, you can play this game. Etiquette is something different than what you typically have. Not that you don't have etiquette when you're playing soccer, but in golf, you wait for the person who's farthest away from the hole to kick first. You don't run to your shot, you walk to your shot. It's played at a similar pace that you would play golf.
So no yellow cards here.
No yellow cards here.
Good thing.
That might be a good thing.
A little different than what we saw in the World Cup.
A lot different than what we saw in the World Cup.
Woo!
All right, Eric.
Woo! Oh boy, that's gonna be hard to beat.
Wow. I just want to practice a couple times.
Don't use all your kicks, you'll get tired. Nice.
Cut.
Stop. Oh, nice.
Wow.
Nice shot.
Yes.
Woo. So he finished it. I saw the little pullback on the foot. Don't want to be too confident, right?
We got 4. Good job, man.
Yeah. Okay.
So we got 3.
Yep, you guys got 3, we got 4.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
That's right.
Because you stayed right on there and you
That
get a
was a
better
good one,
roll.
Yeah.
Smart to stay in the fairway.
I just, no.
You're good.
You're up.
Safe one.
Yep,
Yeah,
you're
that
up
was
as a
good.
safe ball. We can go right for the hole now.
There it is.
Good.
Stop.
Good.
Yeah.
See?
Not bad.
Oh, I thought that was
Very close. I don't want to choke.
Don't choke, Ree.
It's going in. Good job.
I did not choke.
I can't choke either, right?
Nice and easy.
Don't choke.
Oh.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, I'm like, that's me. I'm
I know,
going to
that's right.
overthink it way too much.
Go ahead, Ann.
Denied.
So not fair.
There you go.
Yeah. This rough is serious rough, not like golf course rough. This is foot golf rough. At this point, we say, yay, we have teammates.
Yay.
That was awful.
That's why you don't want to play out of the rough.
I guess not.
Get it.
Yes!
Oh.
Get back Ah, wimp. What a wimp.
No pressure, but if you miss this, you're 2 strokes behind.
Yeah, but there's no pressure.
Oh! Right at Joe.
Watch out, Joe!
Don't stop it.
I got at least 5 yards on that one.
Let's see if you can go into the woods.
Come on, turn. Good kick, Ash.
Yeah, good job, Ash. Ooh, it's still going.
You see
But
the
if
queen.
she
this where it's
makes
supposed
it,
to
you're
be?
1 down. If they miss it, it's 2 down. Well, if they put the
Oh, crap. We're falling apart.
You're falling apart.
Do you think you're going to get people who maybe never played golf to say, all right, I'm not a good golfer, but I'll give this a try?
I think that's a very big possibility. Golf is obviously a more expensive sport than foot golf would be. With foot golf, you need a regulation soccer ball, which you can rent here if you do not have your own, and that's really all you need.
So now we're 2 down?
Yeah, we're 2 down with 1 hole to go, right?
hole to go.
Oh, he's come to play. That'll work. Go ahead.
That was straight. That was good and
It
straight.
was
hard.
straight.
That'll be good.
Nice.
Oh, hit something. No,
There you
you're
go.
good. Keep
Yeah.
That's a good shot.
That is a good shot.
going. Keep going.
Stop.
Keep going.
Oh, that was sweet.
Kick.
Yay, there was no luck. She's just fabulous.
That's what I would have done. Good
All right,
lift.
so that I should try this new technique. All right, that's the first time I ever did that.
In the hole.
Yay!
You got 2 putts to make this in.
To win.
Well, not the top.
Yeah.
That's all we need. That's all we need.
Good job, teammates. Good job.
Good job.
Good job. Nice
Good
match.
game.
Nice match.
Game.
Good game.
I'm calling it a
Good
match.
game.
I guess it's not a match.
We did
it's a
well.
You
game.
did well. You did very well.
Comeback.
It was a comeback.
It was really good that we had teammates. It would have been a long day without them.
Yes, it would have, but we had some really good teammates too. If you'd like to try foot golf, just find the proper photo in our August album on Facebook and tell us what you think about our adventure.
You'll have a chance to win a pair of free tickets to Terra Green's foot golf course. We'll pick 2 winners. Good luck.
Coming up next, we get ready for the stinkiest festival around. Get ready for a stinking good time.
The Pocono Garlic Festival is Labor Day weekend at Shawnee Mountain. 12 local garlic farmers pull out all the stops as they feature everything garlic, like ice cream and cotton candy.
New to me. We had to get into the kitchen.
The garlic harvest is in, and these bulbs have just been harvested a few weeks ago, have been cured, and are ready to make something delicious.
And at Garlic Fest, there's going to be lots of delicious garlic. We've got the head chef with us right now, Dan Rothman. And Dan, you're going to help us create a great garlic dish,
I
right?
sure am, yep. I'm actually bringing back a classic that I first rolled out in 1999 when the festival was still downtown. And it's garlic infused funnel cake. So taking one of the great fair foods of summer and putting a little garlic twist on it.
Yum. The Garlic Festival is full of surprises when it comes to garlic recipes. We met Dan at Makuna Kitchen in East Stroudsburg, the home of reigning garlic chopped champion chef Amy Patel. Last year was the first for the popular competition.
It was like being on a Chopped, like the show. They gave me a basket of local ingredients and we had to do 2 different plates. There was a lot of garlic. I put a lot of garlic in both dishes. I made a garlic scape pesto and I tossed it with heirloom tomatoes and made like a warm couscous salad with it. And then the second round I had to use ground cherries, chard, and garlic, and some nice pulled pork that they gave me from a local vendor. And I made a little wrap. It was like a garlic roll stuffed with pulled pork. And then I made like a ground cherry sauce.
Who came up with the idea to make a garlic funnel
Well,
cake?
I did, I think. I don't know if anyone out there jumped ahead of me somewhere else in the world, but I believe I was the first one to do it here in the Poconos. It was just something I was looking to do to give a nice, interesting twist. Everything, as we know, at the Garlic Fest is loaded with the beautiful local hardneck garlic. And I was looking for a dish that wasn't over the top garlic, but it was a way to accent the garlic and be a nice finish to your meal, so we don't want to necessarily end up with a pound of garlic in our dessert.
All right, Dan, how do we get started?
Well, if you could give me a hand and grab the egg with a couple tablespoons of sugar, and we're going to beat that together.
How much of this sugar? All of it?
Yep, you're going to put all that in 2 tablespoons and just whisk it together, good. And we're going to just add a little bit of salt to that. It's about a 1/4 teaspoon. And then in a separate bowl, we're going to take our flour, our baking soda, and baking powder. And we're sifting that together. And now all we need to do is take a little bit of the lemon juice that we're going to incorporate there. And then that's about a tablespoon of lemon juice.
Can smell the lemon.
that will brighten up the flavor a little bit. And now we're just going to mix the wet ingredient right into the dry.
All right, but where's the garlic?
Good, excellent question.
I haven't seen any garlic in this recipe yet.
So as I mentioned, we're actually just doing a light infusion of the garlic, so it's actually going to come in 2 ways. We're also going to add a cup of milk. So you can just mix that all together. And the garlic is actually, we're about to go over to the stove and we'll see that we have the garlic infusing in the oil that we're going to fry the funnel cakes in.
So it's already waiting for us, Kim, over there. Okay.
You'll see that the garlic here is still simmering. We see the bubbles coming up, knowing it still has some moisture to give. It's not fully roasted. But we're actually going to take these cloves out to get started. We want our oil to come up to about 375 degrees. I always recommend people have digital thermometers. If you don't have one, you could do the old school thing and just throw a little water in there. And if it sizzles a lot, you're pretty close. I'm going to take this lovely batter that you helped me prepare. Our oil's already perfumed beautifully. We can smell it. I think we can, right?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
It's definitely garlicky.
And now we're just going to go around and make sort of a web. We'll see how it looks a little separated, but you don't have to panic.
It'll connect,
Because it's
right?
Exactly. You've made funnel cakes
I
before,
have
haven't
made
you?
funnel cakes just like this, too.
All right. So we're getting pretty close, and it depends on how you like your funnel cake. If you want to kind of stay in one area and make more concentrated. My family goes back and forth. I think my daughter likes the thinner strips, and my son likes those big blobs.
A lot of times people are very, I don't know, hesitant to eat garlic because they know it's going to make their breath stink.
Well, that's a good point. And one of the great things about Garlic Fest is everyone's breath stinks.
So it doesn't matter.
And it does. Some say stink, some say smells pungent.
Keeps away vampires.
It definitely keeps away vampires, and Lord knows they're trending pretty high lately, so we want to make sure we do that. But that's again one of the things that made me think about this recipe is, so you're going to get a beautiful essence of garlic without overpowering it. We want to be really careful when we flip it. Always flip things, whether you're sauteing or making funnel cake, away from yourself, so that if it splashes, it'll splash that way and not at us. From there, we're going to just land briefly on a paper towel. You can use a kitchen towel, but I don't like having to worry about getting the oil out.
Have to make sure that it stays closed.
Yeah, I'll bring it closer to you. You can start in the center, start on the sides,
Whoa!
and just move it around.
All right, not bad, not bad. Oh boy.
Splash down.
just gonna
And
step
remember,
back.
remember to flip away from yourself. That's probably the most important thing here.
It's going to be dangerous.
You got it, you got
I
it.
can tell already.
There we go.
Ooh, okay, so
All
I
right,
didn't
see
do too
that?
bad. Yay!
You're a pro. Good job. You can be on my funnel cake team anytime.
Think it's good?
I think it's great.
Right.
And away we go.
Swirly twirly.
Yep.
Where were you two in 1999 when I was out there in the street hawking these?
And you were like, who knows
We
how to
were
make fun of...
eating them.
There we
Hey,
go.
in my house, this was breakfast
As what?
routinely as a child.
Breakfast of champions, some
Yes.
say.
Really?
You're about ready to flip.
All right.
I'm standing back.
But she didn't have faith in you, so you have to return
Yeah,
the
that's
favor.
right.
Is that what it is? Oh yeah, you're a pro too. Awesome.
It looks very nice.
All right, so we've plated our beautiful funnel cakes, and we're ready to put our savory sugar on top. We're going to start with a little bit of fresh nutmeg in the powdered sugar. Good news is we don't really need to measure this stuff. It's just based on your preferences. Just going for a little bit of each. So there's our nutmeg. If you want to hit the cinnamon up, cinnamon we could probably do more than the rest. That looks great. And then clove we want to be really delicate with, because
really
that's pretty
careful.
powerful. That looks good. And if you could grab the allspice and the ginger.
Good.
That looks great.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. He's like, oh, keep going,
I wanted to
keep
see what
going.
your confidence level was.
If it's cinnamon, I'm confident.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that looks great with the ginger.
Okay.
All right, now we're just going to mix it up a little. If you want to use a fork and not do
And
this.
not toss. You could.
Don't try this at home. And then all we do, if we have a sifter, we're going to take advantage of using a sifter.
Smells
Beautiful.
wonderful.
Doesn't it? But it's going to smell even better. And you want it? We could each do one.
Okay.
And then we're gonna unleash the secret ingredient.
Oh, secret ingredient coming up.
Okay, and now we have our dried black garlic and smoked sea salt infusion. Give it that little garlic je ne sais quoi.
One more reason it belongs at Garlic Fest.
Absolutely.
It's a weird combination of all of these different spices. It's cool though.
Well, you say weird, I say interesting.
Interesting. Well, interesting and weird. It's unusual for sure.
Well, let's taste it and see that it's delicious and interesting and not just weird. Jump in.
We invited Amy to try our delicious funnel cakes. You excited?
Yeah.
I am too.
Yes, let's eat.
Let's try. And Dan, you have to tell us what people can find at Garlic Fest.
Oh, sure. Well, there's 60 vendors, actually probably a few more than 60 vendors, including the 12 garlic farmers, which is really what it's all about. They'll be flanked by prepared foods and foods like this funnel cake being made. There's all different interesting foods, and there's a ton of crafts, and there's prepared foods from hot sauces to mustards to pickles and all kinds of great interesting stuff.
This funnel cake
Really good.
is really, really good. It's better than regular funnel
Not
cake.
overwhelming garlic.
Garlic does
not
that
at
for
all.
things.
This year, in addition to continuing the garlic chopped competition, they're also adding a garlic grill-off featuring local EMS and fire companies. The Pocono Garlic Festival is Labor Day weekend, September 5th and 6th at Shawnee Mountain Ski Area. Here's your chance to win a pair of tickets. Find the proper photo in our August Facebook album and tell us what recipe you'd make with garlic for your chance to win. We're going to pick 2 winners. Good luck. Don't go away. When Talk of the Town returns, we talk ticks. If you spend time outside, you have to watch out for those little hitchhikers.
Hitchhikers is too nice of a word. We're talking about the little bloodsuckers, ticks.
We're on a tick hunt, and whatever we collect today, we're taking to ESU tomorrow to be tested.
There we have a little tiny one. It's in there. We're at the Northeast Wildlife DNA Lab, and we're going to get these ticks tested.
Can you tell us what kind of ticks we found and possibly if they carry any diseases?
Absolutely, we can definitely do that, and you guys can help us out.
Oh, cool. Lab coats, we're going to get put to work. How important is a lab like this to our area?
Very, considering that the most Lyme disease cases in the country occur in Pennsylvania. For the last few years, we had the highest rate.
In the nation?
Yes.
Wow.
And it's the Lyme disease is the #1 vector-borne disease in North America. So, and we're right in the hot zone of it.
So the fact that I hate ticks is founded.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're gonna just look at them under the microscope to further identify them.
Yeah, that's the gross little one.
And here in the Northeast, we have 3 common tick species: the deer tick, the dog tick, and the lone star tick. The deer tick is the one that's going to be associated with Lyme disease. Dog ticks and lone stars are not known vectors of Lyme.
Kind of transparent looking almost. You can kind of see
They
through them.
haven't taken any blood yet.
Definitely gross.
You have 2 dog ticks, which are right here and right here, these big guys. And these little ones are deer tick nymphs.
Okay, and these are the ones we have to worry about as far as Lyme disease.
Lyme disease, yeah. These big ones right here, these dog ticks are not going to be associated with Lyme, but these 2 little guys are. And even though they're super tiny, they've already taken a meal from a mouse or other small mammal, so they could have picked up the pathogen that causes Lyme disease already.
So what's the first thing we do to test?
So our next step is to extract DNA from the tick. What we're going to actually look for in this whole process is DNA from Borrelia burgdorferi, which is the pathogen that causes Lyme disease. So to do that, we have to bust open that tick and bust open all of its cells, and hopefully, if there's that bacteria inside of it, bust open those cells so we can have the DNA suspended, which will then go on to analyze.
Okay, what do we do first?
First, you're gonna have to add the tick to a tube that contains beads. These are gonna mechanically bust up that tick, like it has a chitinous exoskeleton. It's really tough, so we need these little beads that are gonna bust it open. And we're gonna add 2 chemicals that are gonna help with that process. So ticks have 4 life stages: egg, larva, nymph, and adult. So
you know, they hatch out of an egg as a larva, they're going to take a blood meal on a small animal, then they're going to molt into a nymph, which is the second life stage. We often tell people it's like a baby tick. Then they're going to feed on another host, then molt into adults. And adults are the ones that most people see the most often, but nymphs are actually considered the most dangerous because they're so small that people don't see them when they're feeding on them. This is our bead beater. It's very loud. Just a warning.
Bead beater.
Yep. We're gonna beat up those ticks with these beads. See how it's all quite foamy now?
Yeah.
Yep. And we're gonna put it on the incubator.
And what's the purpose of the incubator?
Heat at 56 degrees is gonna help, you know, one of those chemicals that we put in there break up the tick and the cells. So the next step of the process after we've extracted DNA is to amplify that DNA. So in the solution that we pulled out of our bead tubes, there's going to be tick DNA, DNA from whatever host the tick was feeding on, DNA from any of the pathogens that were in the tick. So right now what you're doing is adding that DNA to a number of other components, and we're gonna amplify the DNA of the Lyme disease bacterium. We're gonna turn that tiny little bit of bacterial DNA into millions and millions of copies, enough that we'll be able to visualize it.
We've finished adding all the chemicals to our samples.
Now we're going to photocopy the DNA.
What we're gonna do is put our samples on a thermal cycler, which is going to cycle the samples through 3 different temperatures, and in each one, something different is gonna happen. We're gonna pull the DNA apart, we're gonna pinpoint which DNA we wanna amplify, and then we're gonna actually make the copies. Then we're gonna, again, pull it apart, pick which DNA we wanna amplify, make the copy, so that we're gonna turn maybe just a few or a couple hundred pieces of DNA from Lyme disease into millions. We wanna see if the Lyme pathogen was in there and we amplified it. We have to try to visualize it. So we're going to load the DNA onto a gel, but first we need to add a dye that's gonna weigh it down on the gel and allow it to migrate through to a point that we can see.
Now we're bringing our samples to DNA wildlife technician Casey Churn.
Hey, Casey, what do we do next?
Okay, so you have your samples dyed. Next we're going to load them onto an agarose gel so we can visualize them.
Okay, so you made this gel here for us.
So you guys are going to load your 2 tick samples, and then we have a known positive sample for you.
Okay, so right in here.
Yep. Perfect. That's good. Push it all the way down. Pull it out. Now you can see
Oh yeah,
your samples right in there.
Wow, so precise.
Now what this is going to do, we're going to run a current through that vessel there, and it's going to separate your DNA into fragments based on size. So the smaller fragments will travel further. So the fragment we're looking for is the Borrelia, the bacteria that causes Lyme disease. It'll show up around midway through. You can put this on, line up with those electrodes. So your DNA is negative, it's at the negative well. Just going to run a voltage through. And then it'll be done in half an hour.
Now it's time to read our gel.
And find out if the ticks that we collected were positive for Lyme disease.
What do I do?
You can put it right on this UV light box here. And then to read it, we're going to have to turn off the lights. We're looking for a bright band. And if the tick you tested has the bacteria in enough copies, it will show up as a bright band on the gel. And if it doesn't, there will be nothing there. So anything with a band will be positive. So here we have our final results. Your ticks are here, and we have a known positive, something that we knew had the bacteria in it. So
That's
as
pretty
you can
bright.
see,
Yes, so they had Lyme disease.
right.
It's been a complicated process finding out if our ticks had Lyme disease. Thank goodness we had some biologists helping us today.
Well, not everybody can be a biologist, but we can all have access to them through this tick testing kit.
So the Lyme-Aid tick testing kit was actually developed by a graduate student here at the DNA lab and our director. It contains tick remover, a little alcohol wipe, a baggie for the tick, a pre-addressed envelope, and an information card to fill out, your name, address, email address, everything like that. And these kits are sold all over the country. Places like Dunkelberger's, Dwayne Reed carries them. A lot of places in other states as well. And it just makes it really easy to, if you find a tick, you can remove it, stick it in the baggie, put it in the envelope, and send it over to us.
We may hate ticks, but it's great to know there's a lab in our area testing them for Lyme disease.
A big thanks to Megan and Casey for inviting us into the Wildlife DNA Lab at the East Stroudsburg University Innovation Center. The school is doing some amazing work, and the biologists are ready to help you, too.
Now, for more information about tick testing, you can visit their website at esu.edu/DNA. You can print out tick testing forms on their website, follow the mailing instructions, or drop them off at the lab in East Stroudsburg. You get your results back in just 72 hours.
Next on Talk of the Town, we visit a local church operating the longest-running hiker hostel on the Appalachian Trail.
Last summer, we enjoyed a day hike on the Appalachian Trail and really enjoyed the beautiful scenery in the Delaware Water Gap area.
Recently, we found out about the longest-running hiker hostel in the country. And guess what? It's located at the Presbyterian Church of the Mountain in Delaware Water Gap. So, of course, we needed to check it out.
Since 1978, the Presbyterian Church of the Mountain has welcomed thousands of Appalachian Trail thru hikers. They can rest their weary feet, enjoy a hot shower, and stay a few days to explore the National Appalachian Trail town, Delaware Water Gap.
I love this town. The people here are just like so friendly and willing to help out hikers the way they do. They're not just looking to hear your story. They're actually looking to help you out here, so it's kind of cool.
This is the coolest church ever because it celebrates the community that it's located in. It celebrates being on the trailhead of the Appalachian Trail. It celebrates the history it has with music. We have concerts here every Sunday night during the summer. As on a typical day, I'll drive up the driveway and there's tents pitched everywhere and hikers owning the place. And it's just a wonderful place to be.
Every Thursday night through the summer months, volunteers prepare for their weekly hiker dinner.
We're called as Christians to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, and that kind of thing. And
right. Yeah.
We used to have it out on the driveway until this building was built. And so we started it and see how it went. And it's famous on the trail.
So what are you making tonight?
We're making hot dogs.
There's a lot of hot dogs
Aren't they lovely looking? Golden brown.
Yes.
So far, they look good. It doesn't look like you've burned anything.
Nothing gets burned, except last week we did a little fiasco. The grill caught on fire.
Oh. Not a typical occurrence.
Not a typical
So
occurrence.
how many hot dogs do you make for one of these dinners?
Well, typically 48. Now, last week we did 80 some because we have 36 hikers show up.
Wow.
It's just amazing because you never know what food's going to come in, but it's always like this wonderful salad and that wonderful salad.
We only have desserts, do you remember?
Right.
Everybody was thinking dessert.
Yeah, so you never know, but the hikers don't care.
luck.
That's why we have the hot dogs as a fallback plan, so there's food for them. We usually take drinks down. They can take leftover desserts and all of that. So this has been going on for a long time. And there's not really anyone in charge of it. It's just, this is what we do on Thursday nights.
I think they run off the trail to get here in time for dinner.
Home-cooked food like this doesn't come along very often, so it's nice. Good change up.
I just started 7 days ago, and I'm heading from New Jersey state line all the way down to North Carolina. I'm doing it with two of my buddies, and that's pretty much it. And the reason I'm doing it is just to get away from the normal life and try something different. Need to change. It's pretty fun so far, I gotta say.
Well, it's amazing because everyone has a very interesting and unique story. Some of them are fulfilling a dream, some of them are off work and they want the challenge, some of them are looking for more spirituality,
I just finished my bachelor's degree in May, so it's a good time to do it. So I'm hiking to Maine and hoping to hike the southern portion. I just started in Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. So my plan is to do a flip-flop, just to go north and then back down south.
Well, I'm from Maine, so like I've grown up knowing about the AT. It like runs in my backyard almost. So I've always been a hiker and always been really interested in the trail. So the opportunity just kind of arose for me to go out, and I started hiking.
Have you ever been afraid to be hiking like solo?
Only when I come across bears. And I haven't seen anyone in a really long time. It's the only time I don't like it. But other than that, no, it's not bad because you're never really alone. People are always around you in the woods.
I just love the outdoors and hiking, and I had 7 weeks off, so I decided to go for it. Yeah.
The hikers come from all over the country and the world. They all have a unique trail name, and they talk about things like trail magic and the wonderful people they've met on their journey.
I wanted to find good people, and I did find good people. I found that there are people out there that are just looking to help one another and like-minded. And there's nothing freer than being out in the middle of nowhere when nobody knows where you are. Nobody has any way of finding out where you are. It's pretty nice. It's cool.
This is actually a section hike. I've already hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2012. And that was my through hike, and it was just an amazing experience. So then in 2013, it was how can I stay connected to the trail? We actually, my friends and I, opened up a company, and we do food products. And so I'm out here testing my food products. I'm out here advertising a little bit and just having a good time, just getting away from the city and doing what I enjoy doing, is being outdoors and pursuing a career more in the outdoors, in the outdoor arena.
It's a business expense.
It is. It technically is. Absolutely, yes, it is.
So what are the food products that you're working on?
It's dehydrated and freeze-dried food. We do a lot of repackaging, large packages as well. Things like pastas and things and sauces that are powdered. And we can get like large bulks, but we can break it down to the individual servings.
It's just been an awesome experience to sit with hikers of all ages. What surprised me is when we have hikers that are in their 70s and sometimes even a little bit older, what they're looking for, what their search is, if they think they're even looking for something, what their experience has been like, how their lives are changed. They're really transformed by making this 2,300, almost 2,300 mile hike.
This is Tent City here at Presbyterian Church of the Mountain in Delaware Water Gap.
Hikers can pitch their tents for 2 nights before continuing their journey on the trail.
They can sign in if they want to, and there's no charge. It's a donation only. As long as you're a through hiker or a section hiker, you're allowed to stay.
It's awesome. Like I got in really late last night, and it was just so nice to like come in, be able to take a hot shower, like went out and had food at the diner, and like the hostel's just awesome, and like everyone I've met associated with the church has been like so nice and so like they answer questions and they're really helpful.
It's the oldest active center or hiking hostel on the trail. It started in '78. And we're currently it's the oldest that's still active in that. I mean, a lot of centers, unfortunately, are closing now because, you know, it's a lot of work to keep it going.
Like everyone just being so generous, nice, and I don't see that where I come from, so it's different and it's very generous. And it's great. It's amazing.
We're inside the hikers' hostel here at the church, and this is where everyone gathers to share stories, leftovers, and there's even a journal where they sign in.
And you know what, Marie? We may have to get up because there's a sleeping bag behind us, and I think this spot was claimed already.
Last year we had about 1,200 come through, and that's only the ones that sign in. That's how we keep track. And this year we're about 750 or so, rough estimate.
Is that about the same? Are you on?
Yeah, it's a little bit higher, you know. And then next year they're anticipating more hikers because Bill Bryson's book, Walk in the Woods, is going to be on film.
It's good seeing a small community help a lot of people that pretty much struggling the whole time to hike because it's not easy. It's freaking hard. Am I right, guys? It's hard as heck. Up and down mountains. I mean, you're climbing on rocks the whole time. There's barely any dirt. It's hard on the feet.
Physically demanding.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's a heck of an accomplishment when you get to the top of a mountain and you can see for miles and miles and miles. It's pretty great.
Do you ever do a happy dance when you get to the top?
No, usually the backpack's too heavy to dance. Usually the backpack's too heavy to dance. More it's just like a picture or a video, and then back down the mountain we go.
It's amazing, it really is, because it's part of that community. When you're just in the woods, you're in the mountains all the time, we have a sense of like, you know, the community within ourselves, the hikers themselves. But then when you get to a town and see that the town outreaches, you know, the whole community to help hikers, to be very heartfelt in a very like nice way, because we really don't expect anything at all when we just go to town, maybe pick up our package and leave. But when we have events and dinners, it's amazing. And something like this too. And a hot shower is awesome.
I'm telling you right now, I've never met so much cool people in my life. You'd be surprised how much cool people's on this trail. We all got one thing in common. We're all hurting our feet and walking a long distance.
From a faith basis, what I love about it is that it's truly living out the gospel in the sense that all are welcome, no stranger is turned away. And where does that happen? It happens here.
We met lots of great people at the Presbyterian Church of the Mountain. The Hiker Hostel is always in need of donations and volunteers to help with their weekly hiker dinner.
If you'd like to find out more, visit the church website at churchofthemountain.org.
Up next on Talk of the Town, some do-it-yourself summer ideas. Everywhere you look, it's do-it-yourself projects.
It's all the rage, so we've been searching the World Wide Web to look for some projects that might even use things you have laying around the house.
Our first project is to make coasters, and we're using some vintage Scrabble pieces.
Zach got these from his gram.
It's time to create.
First, you have to pick up some cork from your local craft store to use as a base, and then we're going to cut it out to the right size.
The best way to make sure your cork is the right size, lay out your Scrabble tiles. I'm using 4 four-letter words, all nice words. And then you use a knife and cut around the tiles. The toughest part about this project is figuring out what words you're going to spell with the Scrabble tiles. Remember, be creative.
And once you decide, just get out the glue. So Kim, what are you saying on your coaster?
Well, since it's for drinks, mine is going to say, good wine, love life. Because if you have a good wine,
you'll love life.
How about you?
I went with something more traditional, I guess. You only live once. But it's a good reminder.
It is definitely a good reminder.
Most important, make sure you proofread. Looks good. I think these came out great.
It's hot out here. Now I think we need a drink to put on these coasters.
Well, let's go into the kitchen.
Okay, we're going to try and make a detox water.
Okay.
And it's incorporating some really cool, fresh ingredients that everybody has. If not, you can get them from your produce store. A cucumber, which is very big right now. A lot of drinks have cucumber in them. Lemons, I put in almost everything. And I know you're my mint supplier.
I'm the mint supplier, fresh mint.
Okay, so it's water with these ingredients. So mint goes in. Okay, Ree, when you're done with the mint, you can squish the lemons and drop them right in. And we're doing 2 lemons because this is a pretty big container.
And where did you find this recipe?
It's like most things, it was on the internet, but we've been drinking it at my house for a while because it's refreshing.
We're just sticking those in too?
Yes, right in they go. And then I notice you have some filtered water here.
Yep.
Pour it in.
Mm-hmm. Now we just have to let it sit so that all the flavors can combine. So we're going to put it in the fridge and let that happen. And we have one more DIY project.
And this one incorporates hanging baskets with a twist. We use chandeliers. Okay, Marie, I have some more chandeliers. Where did they come from, by the way?
Hey, they've been in my basement for forever.
All right, you're making yours blue. I think I'm gonna make mine pink.
I'm using a special outdoor spray paint so it stays.
All right.
Well, now all the paint has dried, so it's time to plant our flowers.
I'm picking more pink flowers, just in case you thought I had enough pink. Our final step, just glue them in place. Make sure you have good glue.
Now we just have to wait for the glue to dry.
Cheers!
Cheers! Summer is a great time to get away, even if you can't go too far.
In Jim Thorpe, you can take a train ride to see some of the most beautiful sights the Poconos has to offer.
Time to get our tickets.
2 round-trip tickets to the Lehigh Gorge.
Okay, ladies, standard coach or open air?
Both.
Okay, you got it.
We've got an escort. This is Lehigh George.
This is going to be fun.
Good morning, ladies. Watch your step, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All aboard!
Let's go.
As soon as we leave the station, we will go under the 903 bridge. We will then go through the old yard, which used to be a very big hub of the Lehigh Valley Railroad. We'll pass the turntable, which we use on our steam engine trips. We'll go up another couple miles up. We'll cross over the river for the first time. We will pass through Glenanoco Falls, which unfortunately this time of year you can't really see. During October, it's another reason to come in October. You can see the falls beautifully. And then we'll wind through the gorge for the next 6 miles, get to Old Penn Haven, turn the engine around, hook up to the end, and then come on back.
As the train pulled out of the station in Jim Thorpe, we took in the sights from an open-air car. Then we paid a visit to one of the air-conditioned rail cars. But our favorite place to ride the rails was with the locomotive engineer, Michael Kolb. This is going to be the fun part. Marie, do you think they'll let us drive the train?
I don't know, maybe.
Hello, Kim and Marie. Welcome aboard the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway. I'll be your engineer today. I'll be taking the train south. No steering required. It's a common misconception. The train follows the rails. The track does the driving for me. Very simple. Just a couple of levers and knobs here. I got a forward and backward and the engine brake and train brake, and you can just follow along as we go. And go ahead, pull it this way towards you. Yeah,
All right, you ready?
ahead.
You gonna help me?
Yep.
It's loud.
It's loud though. The door's open. So.
Okay, here we go.
Good job. Thanks,
That means we
ladies.
should go,
That means
right?
we're going ahead. You got it right the first try. So ready when you are. All set?
Yes. All set.
All right, here we go. Open the throttle. Release the brake. You got the horn already?
Is this your first time on the train?
No, we were second, right?
Yeah, this is our second time. We went on the Santa ride in December.
Ah, okay. How'd they like that?
Oh, she liked it a lot.
Yeah.
She's a lot more brave this time around.
I'm actually using the motors on the axles to retard or slow the movement of the train right now. It's called dynamic braking. So you're turning each motor on the axle into a generator, actually producing power, and it's actually slowing the motor down. Now I have air brakes on the train to do that also. I have an engine brake which is just for the engine, and then I have a train brake which is for the cars behind the engine to slow, because each car has its own independent brake system on it. So I can do that too, but this saves on brake shoe wear, and you know, and it's also just, it makes for a smoother ride too in some instances. you don't get the slack action. The slack is the space between the couplers. You don't have that running in and out when you do it this way.
I've always wanted to work for the railroad ever since I was a child. So this is pretty much dream come true for me. This day and age, passenger trains aren't around as much as they used to back in the day. And this is just something that I love getting up to do every day. I am excited to come to work every day. I love seeing the kids. I love seeing the smiles it brings them.
I think the train ride is a good time for him. This is his third train ride. Just came last week too, so it's local. He likes to come on and watch them on TV too.
Tell us what you think about the train ride.
It's cool.
Yeah? What makes it so cool?
It goes down this track.
You like that it's on the track?
Yeah.
Does it feel like clickety-clack, clickety-clack?
We certainly have a fair share of repeat customers, and we have first-timers all the time. They bring the kids, the grandkids out, whoever. It's nostalgia because the commuter train service has been gone for over 50 years around here. So it's definitely a nostalgia thing. As far as the beauty goes, it's a surprise to some for sure.
The train passengers enjoy great views while learning about the history of the area, thanks to narrator James Danner. His voice sounds throughout the cars with stories and unique railroad information.
I don't think the people realize just how beautiful the Lehigh Gorge is. The huge rising cliffs created many years ago. The remnants of the canal system. The history is just beautiful up in this area.
As far as wildlife goes, deer, they're morning or later afternoon, evening. Turkeys are any time of the day. They're very timid creatures. You can just about knock them off the track till they get out of the way. They just sit there and look at you. You know, we see all kinds of things out here. I've had the good fortune of seeing at least 2 bobcats while I was on the job out here. And
wow.
That's very rare because they're primarily nocturnal creatures. All kinds of things, and on a rare occasion we will see a bear or 2 here or there. Eagles are showing up more now. Oh, they're beautiful birds.
There's a deer right there.
Yeah, there is one actually. Yeah, surprise! You don't usually see them in the middle of the day like this.
I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, he's heading for the woods, or she's heading for the woods.
How old is this train?
This locomotive was built in 1984, and locomotives, some models in particular, live extremely long lives because they're expensive pieces of equipment, as you might imagine, as big as they are. And basically what happens over the years is they rebuild them as time progresses. The engine frames will last, you know, there's no road salt. You don't deal with road salt corrosion like you do with over-the-road vehicles. So these frames on some of these locomotives, I mean, we have engines that date back to the 50s in our fleet. And it's just a matter of, over the years, they get rebuilt. The frames will go forever because they were built to last. So it's pretty cool how old some of the stuff is that we have.
The fully loaded train weighs close to 180 tons, and anyone hiking in the area is reminded to stay off the tracks.
A reminder to anybody from the general public that the railroad is not public property. We get a lot of problems out here with people that think the railroads are walking and hiking trails. They are not. The railroad is private property, and you are to stay off of it. And when people get run over, the sad part about it is they're not supposed to be there to begin with. And the other part people forget is, especially on these bridges and stuff, the trains are wider than the tracks.
There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go. So that's my public service safety announcement for the day.
A good one.
The railroad excursions run Wednesday through Sunday until the end of August. For a complete schedule, just visit their website.
Every year we've been doing better and better. We've been bringing more and more people in. This past 2 years we've added many more trips. We're doing bike trains. We're going to start doing rafting trains. Our steam engine, which I work on during the week, is just about ready to come back into service. So we'll be doing 7 steam engine trips this October for the fall foliage.
If you'd like to win a family 4-pack of tickets aboard the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway, just head to our Facebook page, like the correct photo in our August album, and let us know your favorite part of our railroad journey for a chance to win. Good luck.
Whatever you do, be the talk of the town.
Thank you.
Is this legal?
Why don't you say a little prayer while you're down there?
He's cleaning.